Hello and welcome to Acoustic Review. My name is Ben Morgan Brown and today I'm looking at the Crush 30 Acoustic from Orange Amplifiers. With 50 years experience producing iconic electric and bass amps, the Crush 30 is Orange's first step into the acoustic amp world, and it features 2 channels, one for guitar with an instrument input, 3-band EQ, pad and colour switch, and one for microphones with a combination line and XLR input, 2-band EQ and phantom power. A global notch filter, auxiliary input, digital reverb and chorus which can be added to both channels, an effects loop and a post EQ balanced DI out as well as a line out. A power supply is included and the amp can also run off batteries needing 10 AA size. With a custom 8-inch speaker, 30 watts RMS output and available in black or classic orange Tolex, the Crush 30 Acoustic has an RRP of £319. For the purpose of this review, I'm using my trusty Martin Ohm 28V with a K&K Pure Mini pickup. So let's have another listen to the amp now, and then join me afterwards for my thoughts.
Living in a dream world, he said. This talk of being an artist, it's all in your head. And I wondered what it was you meant when you're saying my dreams were a waste of time and I should give up on them. I can only hope that that I'm still dreaming.
My first impression was that I was really happy that they'd sent the orange Tolex version. Although the black is probably more traditional, there is something iconic about the combination of wheat speaker grille and orange Tolex that only really works on an orange amp. Something I wasn't as happy about was that the included power supply is the generic budget external transformer type. This kind of power supply is a real bugbear of mine as they can be easily misplaced or damaged, and they're often so specific that it can be hard to find a replacement. The included power supply here is no different. Being 19 volt centre positive, it's not something you'd be able to get your hands on in a hurry if there was an issue with it at a gig. Just as well, the amp can also run on batteries. Anyway, power supply rant over, the rest of the amp looks really good. I like the way it's wedge shaped so the speaker tilts upward, and the control panel, if a little cramped, is logically laid out. I did find that the picks only graphics meant I had to think a bit about what each knob did at first, and I also found the white settings marker on the knobs a bit small, but that aside, it was easy to get set up and running. Plugging in and leaving the EQ controls at noon, I was surprised by the amount of bass produced by such a small box. The K&K pickup in my guitar can be a bit boomy, but the master notch filter combined with the bass control meant I could soon get the low end tamed and bring more clarity to the sound. For my particular guitar and style, I found that engaging the colour switch, which adds some presence and cuts some mids, made a big difference to the sound, and it didn't take too much tweaking for me to find an acceptable tone. I often use an external preamp so I can blend in an internal microphone with my pickup, and the Orange Crush 30 was able to take this blended sound and amplify it well, maintaining the high-end detail that the microphone brings to the sound. I also tried the amp with an LR Baggs M1 magnetic pickup, and several undersaddle systems, and it was simple to get a good tone with all of them. For this section of the review, I'm just running through some of the different reverb and chorus settings on the amplifier. So here's the sound with a small amount of reverb. And here's the sound with a greater amount of reverb. And now here's a small amount of chorus. And here's a greater amount of chorus. For vocals, I was pleased that there was a lack of boxiness that you sometimes get with small amplifiers, although I did feel it lacked a bit of top-end sparkle and clarity. I was a bit disappointed with the built-in reverb as well, which to me sounds quite muddy and actually made the amp sound more honky and boxy. At low settings it was okay, but I really preferred the sound with no reverb at all actually. Likewise, the chorus is not really my cup of tea, but at lower settings it did give some space and movement to the tone without getting too wishy-washy. At £319 and with the ability to run off of batteries, I think this amp is aimed squarely at the busking and small gig market. Although it's punchy for its size, I think it might struggle to cut through at larger gigs, particularly if there was background noise, but for catching the attention of passerbys, I think it's got more than enough poke. The post-EQ DI and line out mean that you could use it as a monitor to gig and feed it into a more powerful system, and the lightweight and battery power option make it portable enough to take along to gigs just in case you need it as well. The controls are well thought out, and once you get over the lack of text, intuitive and predictable in their use, and considering the size, the tone is good without too much boxiness, assuming you don't crank the reverb, that is. The Crush 30 Acoustic is competitively priced versus other similar sized amps on the market, and aside from my power supply gripe, there's not much to fault on it. As a first foray into acoustic amps, it's a success, and given Orange's previous record for higher end equipment, I'm really interested to see where they might go next. I hope you've enjoyed this video from Acoustic Review. Please subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications of new videos, and I look forward to seeing you next time.